Each launch campaign brings together for 6 weeks here in Kourou the various teams from Arianespace and the other industrial partners, from the customer and from the satellite builder. Though many operations are standard for all Ariane launches, each mission brings its own specific requirements, and for all to go smoothly, all the teams have to pull in the same direction toward a successful launch.
It sometimes happens that technical problems call for a change in the plan of operations already established, in order to respect the objectives required by the campaign's calendar dates. Completing operations in a short time needs a determined and highly motivated team.
A launch campaign calls on each team member to give his or her best. It's a professional commitment on their part, and one that is particularly important should any unforeseen circumstances arise during the campaign, as they sometimes do.
In this context, the commitment and flexibility of each individual are vital to the success of the team effort.
The launch campaign is a fine illustration of Arianespace's offer of service and solutions. One big moment in the campaign occurs the day before launch, when Ariane 5 emerges from the final assembly building, fully equipped for the first time, and heads for her final destination, before space that is, the launch pad. This milestone is only authorized after a lengthy launch readiness review, where all the participants from the launcher and the satellites to the ground systems are present and give the mission its ultimate green light. Before leaving the final assembly building, however, Ariane 5's passengers are integrated onto its upper stage. Then, all the various teams monitor the vital systems on the launcher and the satellites. After several weeks of this combined effort, these teams remain vigilant and focused on tonight's launch.
Top. H0 moins 1 minute.
You can see the evaporation there. It's the fuel boiling off. You can watch it all on the website, you know. The ignition sequence, final phase of the automatic sequence, here's what to watch for. At -5 seconds, those arms, the yellow arms, will swing back. We have to have that to have liftoff. Before that, at -12 seconds, the command is given to open the water deluge. 1,500 cubic meters of water will come pouring in on the pad to deaden the thermal shocks and noise that could damage the satellites at liftoff. I don't know if you're going to see that, but you might want to look out for it. Then the sequence begins with the arms swinging back. At -3 seconds, we move into flight mode. And at 0, the DDO calls out allumage, or ignition, and the engines light up.
À tous de DDO, attention pour le décompte final. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, top. Allumage Vulcain. Allumage EAP, décollage.
Everything on board is nominal as normal, says the DDO. At 18:51 local time, and right on time, Ariane began her mission. We're having better visibility than I thought we did. The weather's been clear all week, but we had a storm last night and cloudy today. But you can see Ariane rising up into the night sky over French Guiana. Fine shots by our cameraman, Olivier Clary, who's out on the balcony here. We have 7 cameras here, 5 in Jupiter, 2 on the site, always giving us fine shots. 775 tons of fuel are burning now at liftoff as Ariane is leaving the ground, burning 5 tons of fuel per second, 2.5 tons in each booster, and the core stage burning another 300 kilograms per second. That's roughly equivalent to a dozen Airbuses. She's now following the program in the onboard computer, which gives all the orders, including the stage separations, which we will soon begin to see. We're in the first of 4 flight 5. DDO says everything's fine. We're in the first of 4 flight phases. The first 3 are powered. The last is not. We'll describe each in turn and in detail so that you can follow Ariane as she heads across the Atlantic in about 20 minutes, and where she will separate the satellites once she has sailed over Africa. Right now, we're in the first flight phase. That's the single core stage engine, and the 2 boosters are burning. The boosters will burn their 240 tons just over 2 minutes each. There's another about 15 seconds left in that burn, and they're the first to be extinguished. You'll hear the DDO call out that milestone as well.
Les paramètres bord sont normaux.
Everything is normal, says the DDO. We should be approaching
Séparation des EAP.
right on time. Separation of the boosters. This is give you an idea what it looks like. There's two of them. There's one that out of camera range on the left. They fall 500 kilometers from shore in a protected area. In a protected area, not to worry, because before each launch, civil security teams come in and evacuate all areas lying under Ariane's flight path. The camera, by the way, is not on board tonight. It's from a launch of about 4 years ago, but the situation is the same. The systems are the same. Next up is the fairing jettison, coming in about 10 seconds. Take a look on the left of the screen. On the upper left, you have a cursor riding up the curve. Yeah, I don't know if you can read that, sepquaff, that's separation of the fairing. That should come in about 2 seconds. Those are two trajectories. One is optimal. There's separation of the fairing. Again, right on time. There are actually two halves. One is out of camera range on the right. That's the fairing, which is the protective structure. We drop the fairing now because it's just more dead weight, a couple of tons. Its job is to protect the passengers in the Earth's atmosphere from friction and vibrations. And we're out of the atmosphere once we get over 100 kilometers roughly, so we don't need it. Fairing is built by Ruag Aerospace, stands 17 meters tall. And the way it's separated, it's interesting, there are two pyrotechnical cords, one vertical and one horizontal, which drops the fairing. We're now in the second flight phase. Remember the first flight phase, 2 boosters and 1 core stage. Now just 1 single engine burning. Offering effective launch service and solutions means mobilizing one's professional talents in order to meet the customer's needs. For W3B, the calendar was particularly tight. A very short campaign needed 3 teams who worked round the clock.
Things change from one campaign to another. The people change, and even with any given builder or operator, one campaign is never like the one before. For W3B, Eutelsat called Ariane Space in a very short time before the launch date. The cycle of mission reviews was carried out rather quickly to finally conclude at the launch date 9 months after the signing of the contract, which is exceptional.
And the results were more than satisfactory, which is not surprising when one remembers that Ariane Space and Eutelsat go back a long way together and know each other well. Their first partnership dates back to Flight 6 on an Ariane 1 in 1983 with the launch of ECS-1, a telecommunications satellite.
For 25 years, 70% of the Eutelsat fleet has been launched by Ariane Space. This represents 1 launch per year. W3B is a new challenge for Eutelsat. Its mission is to grow our capacities at the orbital position at 16 degrees east. W3B will replace 3 satellites and cover Europe, Asia, the Middle East and Africa.
This is a great day for all of us. It is a landmark for W3B, and everyone at Thales Alenia Space is delighted to be part of it. Eutelsat is a forward-thinking company, and we are proud to partner with you on such an important satellite. W3B is about to join the most powerful part of the fleet at 16 degrees east, delivering a Ka and Ku band mission. Based on an innovative design, it will also comply with 7 degree, 10 degree, or 36 degree east orbital positions. This gives it the highest ever multi-mission flexibility. W3B is the 18th satellite we have built for Eutelsat. W3C and W6A will follow. Our teams have developed close bonds, and we are dedicated to our long-term relationship. This has been a great campaign. Congratulations to everyone involved, and we wish Eutelsat and your customers all the very best. Good luck for W3B, and thanks to everybody.
Eutelsat's latest satellite, W3B, will deliver new additional resources for broadcasting, telecommunications and broadband services. Based on the Thales Alenia Space 4000 platform, W3B will renew and expand capacity at 16 degrees east, a leading position for broadcast markets in Central and Eastern Europe and islands in the Indian Ocean. 16 degrees east is one of our most long-standing orbital locations, as satellites have been in service here continuously since 1988. It has now developed into one of the company's largest video locations, with more than 400 channels broadcast to an audience of over 11 million households. The high-performance W3B satellite will have 4 main coverage zones. A high-power Ku-band coverage of Europe, with a beam centred over Central Europe, particularly optimised for DTH reception in this region. An extensive coverage across Europe, including North Africa, the Middle East and Central Asia, via a Ku-band beam optimised for professional video links and data networks. Ku-band coverage of Sub-Saharan Africa and Indian Ocean islands for regional telecommunications and internet services. Interconnection with Europe will also be possible with this African coverage through a combination of Ka-band frequencies in Europe and Ku-band frequencies in Africa. And a high-power beam over Madagascar and the Indian Ocean islands for DTH applications. W3B will be eventually replaced by W3C at 16 degrees east and will be relocated to 7 degrees east with the W3A satellite. W3B, expanding capacity for broadcast telecommunications and broadband services.
You're watching Ariane
Séparation du satellite BSAT 3B.
197 with, and there's the successful separation of our second passenger, BSAT 3B. You can hear the applause now, which was so politely held beforehand. BSAT 3B now beginning life, along with W3B, which was injected toward her for her final orbit about 11 minutes ago. Now that BSAT 3B is up, see she's making her way there, away from the mothership, beginning life soon. What will happen in about actually 11 minutes ago, she should have picked up her first signal from the Urala station in Australia. There will be 4 apogee motor firings on the 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 6th days. In a week, on the 7th day, 3 things happen: final Earth acquisition, solar array deployment, and reflector deployment. So that's the early orbit phase for BSAT. Here's a replay for you of those very exciting moments half hour ago.